and welcome to the Weekly Review. Today we're going to be discussing the new album or release by Dua Lipa in collaboration with the Blessed Madonna. It is titled Club Future Nostalgia DJ Mix.
I do not love this album, Johann. In fact, I do not like it very much. Because I notably referred to it, and I'm going to do it again, I'm going to quote myself, as a mix album with lawyers. Dua Lipa is a massive, massive pop star. She has to do things right and in the legal way, and that means that when she gets a remix album and she gets a DJ mix, she has to do it all very legally so she can put it onto all the right streaming channels. Now, I am not a man who is against doing things legally. I respect the law, much unlike the British government at the moment. But if you're going to do a DJ mix, you don't want to have your feet bound in this way. You do not want to have to clear all of the rights. And I don't know, I think this comes over in this album that basically she's like, okay, we can clear 10 samples. Here are the 10 samples. They're cleared. And this is what we've got to do. Hence, it is a mixtape with lawyers.
I quite like the album. I have to admit, I was bouncing along to it this morning. In fact, a song that I think, one of the tracks that I think has irked you quite a bit, Ben, is the one that features Masters at Work, but also features an uncredited sample from Kashmir's Percolator, which is a hell of a banger. And it works. And it works in the sense that it's not too long, because sometimes DJ albums can be a bit overblown, or you don't really have that much time at home to enjoy a full hour of a DJ set. And especially, what's the point of releasing a DJ mix album in a time when clubs are banned and prohibited and no one's allowed to dance together in public spaces? It's a bit of a tease on your part, Miss Dua Lipa. It's like showing a tray of freshly ovened biscuits, smelling of cinnamon, to a celiac. It's like, here, have a taste. You know you're going to like it, but you're going to end up on a hospital bed groaning if you do. So that's a little bit unfair, but I do like the idea of the Blessed Madonna and Dua Lipa in a studio just banging out tunes, looking with free access to internet. It's like Masters of Work, Jacques-Louis Comte, there's even, Jada G's on it, Yeji. Having Yeji shows that Dua and the Blessed Madonna know who to collaborate with, shall we say. But what I did find suspicious is the fact that this is a record that features Madonna. And one thing that was said about the album it's remixing is that it sounded like 3 different stages of Madonna's career. So it's interesting that they've got Madonna and Missy Elliott on a track, but no one's really talked about it. It kind of makes me lose hope in humanity. I mean, remember we used to hype about these things. Madonna, Missy Elliott, Jacques-Louis Comte, Gwen Stefani, Masters at Work, all in one album, and it's just gone by like a little fart.
Well, this is why. This is my point. Why are we not talking about it? Because we've been talking about Dua Lipa's excellent album since March or whatever when it came out, and this doesn't really add all that much to it. She's got some great remixes coming in, but this is sort of like, nah, it happened. Madonna was on it, Missy Elliott was on it, but are we getting all that excited? We are not, and I don't think that is the listening public's fault. I think this album just doesn't quite deliver. It falls between 2 stools. It is neither fish nor fowl. They are releasing a full remix album where you can get all of the tracks on it, but they started off with this one, and that's for a reason. Also, Johann, I refer you to the moment at which Mark Ronson says something like, I'm not exactly quoting, "Yo, let's listen to some Buffalo Stance." And here comes in Buffalo Stance. That moment made my flesh creep, and I quite like Mark Ronson on the whole, but that was terrible.
Mark Ronson always has a tongue in his cheek. I think he was being ironic and stuff. I get the in-joke because I want to get the in-joke. I want to be part of Mark Ronson's crew. So I get that whole sort of, let's just have fun and be really cheesy because you're with Dua Lipa. And as someone who has stood very few centimeters away from Dua Lipa, I can attest at the magnetic power she has over anyone who is within her reach. So I forgive all the shortcomings of this DJ mix. I think it works for a moment. I mean, this is a year when we've heard so many great dance pop albums. Lady Gaga's last album, Yeji's album, etc., etc. So many out, but you don't really have a place to listen to them. Yes, you get together with 10 friends. That's what Spanish government allows in these times of confinement. You get together in a garden or in a terrace or in a flat, and you want to crank up the volume, but not too much because you've got a neighbor next door who's got a baby, and they can't get back to sleep and stuff. So you're playing all these albums, really soft levels. You know what? We should bring back the silent disco headphones, maybe then this album would have a chance.
But you know what this album is? It is the kind of album you would put on with a baby sleeping next door, right? It's a little bit half-hearted. It's not the kind of thing you would crank. It is the kind of thing you would go, oh, look, Julius is asleep next door. He's teething. We'll stick on this rather half-assed collection with a shout-out from Mark Ronson. And believe you me, some of my very favourite artists are on this album, but I think they're being undersold. I love Masters at Work. I really, really do. Do I want to hear 1 minute 54 of their remix with another song slapped in the middle, slapdash? I do not, Johann.
But this is the thing. Dua Lipa has one of the powers, just like her friend Rosalia, of uniting generations. She can get the old raver guard like ourselves tuned in to listen, but she can also get all these lovely young listeners excited about it. So it's a way of educating the newer generations in the great tradition of club deep house, a la Masters at Work or Jacques Lucan. But there's a point where, as you say, it sits between two stools. You're not really making one happy or the other, but it's worth a try.
You know what you get if you sit on the fence? Splinters. Anyway, may I offer some mathematical proof as why this album is not a success? What's the best song on the album?
I'm actually going to go with the Percolator remix of Masters at Work. What's it called? Pretty Please.
Oh, you've just ruined my beautiful mathematical formula. If you could just go back a second in time, Tenet style, then your response should be it's the Moody Man remix.
It's the Moody Man remix.
Well, that's also the longest song on the album. What does that tell you?
Enlighten me, Ben.
Well, it tells you that people wanted longer songs. They didn't want just 2 minutes, although unfortunately you kind of do just want two minutes. Look, I love Dua Lipa. I love Future Nostalgia. I love lots of the people featured on this. I love Bless Madonna. There's loads of great people. I don't love all the people on there. There's one or two really awful tracks, but this is just the sound of splinters and a very big missed opportunity.
What did you think of this album? Make sure you let us know in any kind of comment section that you may find below.